You just crossed over into the female zone.
Listen, I would like to know why. I am 42 years old. And I'm not saying that I'm looking for anything, but this is just a question that I have. Why is it that men in their 40s and 50s want to come talk to me and be like, but I don't really want anything serious. I don't really know what I want. Blah, blah, blah. And then I have got men from like 25 to 30 in my inbox being like, hey, mama, can I take you on a date? Be like, they're over here like, I'll give you anything you ever wanted. Give me a chance. Like, is it because you're 25 and your mama left? You just need another mama? What is going on? I want to know what's going on. What? Make it make sense.
All right, sister. You asked what is going on and you wanted to make it make sense. Well, you know what? This gorilla is going to oblige because I'm here for you. There's a reason why the younger men tell you all these things and tell you, I'll get you whatever you want, blah, blah, blah. And the older men, the men that you're interested in, that are in their 40s and 50s, don't say that. That's a two-parter, so let's split it in half. The younger men tell you what you want to hear because they know that the only way that they're going to get in there, i.e. use you for target practice, as in take you to Pound Town 6 races Sunday, is to tell you exactly what you want to hear, that you want a relationship, yada, yada, yada. Just like you said, blah, blah, blah. The older men really don't need to say that. Want to know why? Because they've been around. They don't need the target practice. I mean, they're experienced, they're seasoned. And in fact, they probably have higher value. That's the reason why you want to date them and you want to be with them. Because in your 40s, you're probably thinking, all right, time to recharge that retirement plan because you kind of screwed the pooch on the first one. You're looking for a man in his 40s and 50s who's actually got his stuff together. But they look at you and they're like, yeah, well, you know what? I'm just going to be honest. I don't know what I want. Now, how is it that these men can afford honesty? Well, that's simple. They're building a roster. I.e., you're not a first-round draft pick. So they're looking at you like, hey, listen, I got a spot on the bench for you. Take it or leave it. That's as good as it's going to get for you, sister. Not to mention that it seems that you work in the medical field. And let's just say that women in the medical field don't have the most stellar reputation when it comes to commitment. Before we move on, I want to say thank you, fam, to all of my subscribers for supporting this channel. I truly appreciate all of you who leave comments, who like my videos, and share them on other social media platforms. I truly gotta say thanks, fam. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. And for those of you who haven't subscribed yet, I thank you for tuning in, and I hope you decide to hit that subscribe button. Moving on!
So I was dating two people at the same time. I was dating a rich guy and I was dating kind of a poor guy. Like poor as in he lived out of his van poor. Like he didn't have a home poor, okay? And rich as in he drove a Mercedes Benz. And I went on 2 dates with both of them. I always like to give people, the benefit of the doubt. Like we never know what's going to happen. And the poor guy showed up to the second date with a kid's book that was supposed to help me learn a new language, which was very sweet because I was trying to learn a new language, and a box of gluten-free cookies because I can't eat gluten and I love treats. And that was so sweet. And so that was on our second date. Whereas the rich guy showed up empty-handed both times. So all of you girls out there and guys and gays who are trying to manifest a rich man, you don't want to manifest a rich man. You want to manifest a generous one.
Him, her, him, bodies! Oh, this is rich. All right, so let this gorilla get this straight. You were roster dating. You were dating two guys at the same time, and you were actually trying to use your thought logic here to shame the rich guy because he was smart enough not to get you something. You're like, well, yeah, the kind of poor guy, he got you this kid's book so you could learn another language. That's great. And he was sweet, and that meant a lot. Yeah, that meant so much that you still went out with another man on him, right? You were still riding the carousel, sausage hunting. So then you go to the rich guy, and he doesn't get you anything. Maybe it's because the rich guy just looked at you and he said, why should I get you something? I mean, you are lucky enough that I'm even entertaining you. Sweetheart, have you looked in the mirror? It's been a rough 40 years. And let's just say that all that ink isn't doing you any favors. So what were you expecting? That you're going to show up and show the guy, hey, check it out. I'm me. I'm 40 years old. I'm inked up and I'm roster dating. I'm worth so much. So a rich guy needs to spend a buttload of money on me. Oh, no, not a buttload. let me correct myself. He's got to spend something on me because the poor guy's getting me something. Possibly because the poor guy isn't like a Chad or a Tyrone. He's just an average poor guy that's probably on your level, maybe a little bit higher. And he has to put in extra. He's like, okay, I got to do this, I got to do that because I want to impress her. The rich guy's just thinking, sweetie, you're lucky to even be here. In fact, if he was paying for your dinner, why are you complaining? You got a free meal out of it. I mean, maybe the rich guy is like interested in you giving his sausage like a hand jamming there, and he's like, okay, with all that ink, with that up down motion, it's gonna look like a kaleidoscope. I don't know. The point is, you're giving women advice of what they should look for on roster dating? You? I'm gonna be honest. You don't seem like the guru type to be giving out dating advice to find the right type of man. Just this girl has 2 cents. Moving on.
There are some allegations that have been brought to my attention that are going around on the internet. One is that I talk about my age too much, and the other, I'm a man hater. And look, I'm guilty. Like I do be thinking that Lindsay's right. Being 40 and single is a lot of young women's worst fear. So me starting out that way is giving perspective, it's giving nuance, it's helping women see that you don't have to be married and have kids. You can buy your own home. You can travel the world. You can be very career focused. You can be on social media. You can have younger friends. You can have older friends. Like, there's so many different ways to be fulfilled in your life. And if I didn't talk about my age, which initially when I got on this app, I didn't talk about my age, no one really gave a shit. Because quite frankly, they didn't know that I was 40, and that like changes things, okay? And yes, I do also talk about men's poor behavior, not because I hate men. Unfortunately, I do love men. And I have a lot of good men in my life, which maybe I should talk about them more frequently. Thank you for calling that out. But I talk about it because I think that it could save a lot of young women a lot of heartache. When I go on a date and the man jokingly calls me a bitch on a first date, second date, yeah, I am gonna call that out as a red flag, because in my 20s, I dated a guy that did the same thing. And guess what? It wasn't long until he started using that language against me. If they're willing to say it about someone else, or they're willing to say it to you as a joke, one day soon, probably in the near future, they will also be saying it about you. I have some really phenomenal men in my life. One would be my older brother, who has literally saved my life on numerous occasions, from drowning, from choking, and is also a great dad and provider. My new manager at work, for the last 7 months, I've been working closely with him, and he is clearly an amazing dad. He has 4 sons who he loves dearly, and he has a lot of respect for his wife. Like, love to see that. I also have my 2 best guy friends for the last 20 years. Now, do I always agree with some of the behavior they tell me about? No. But I love them, and they care for me, and I care for them. And I do think it's important to talk about good men as well. But I am not going to shy from sharing my real everyday experiences with men. There is nothing more in this world than I would love to be than absolutely enamored by the respect and kindness and greatness and charitableness of men. I would love to see that in this lifetime.
You're here to save me!
All right, ladies. Anyone else pick up on all those red flags that I just saw? Well, if you didn't, don't worry. This girl is here for you. So first of all, listen, to the ladies watching this and the young women. Okay, did you notice that this woman started off quickly trying to downplay her age, saying, oh, if I don't say I'm 40, no one's going to believe it. So let me get this straight. She wants to give dating advice to women. She's 40 years old, never been married, doesn't have any kids, anything like that. And there's nothing wrong with not having kids. But the point is, she's trying to make it sound like being completely single at 40 is where it's at. While at the same time, she's trying to act like she's younger. She's trying to act like she's in her late 20s, maybe early 30s, when she's definitely not. There's an old saying, misery loves company. And this pretty much is it, because if she says that she's being called out as a man hater a bunch of times, well, you know what? That may not be 100% accurate, but that may not also be 100% inaccurate. And the truth is somewhere in the middle. Now, she says that I would love to talk about great men, and she has great men in her life. But notice the other red flags that are there. The one man that she praised the most was who? Her manager. And I'm sorry, men have said this a bunch of times. How is it that women who focus so much on their career will dedicate themselves, will just fawn over their boss, a guy who could fire her and won't give them a second thought? She'll dedicate herself to him, but not to the man who would be willing to be with her for the rest of her days. Did you notice that red flag there? She nearly drooled at the fact that her boss has 4 kids and he's a great husband. Totally love that. Oh, so you love that he is the type of man that you want, but you would never dedicate yourself to a man like that in a relationship, but you sure as hell will do it in a career profession. Make that make sense. And she's telling all of you that in 40 years, she hasn't found the right guy. And she would love to find it. Well, that's simple, because she's not looking for it. If in 40 years all of you had were negative experiences, guess what the common denominator there is? That would be you, queen. Moving on.
This video is not a poor me, a pity me, anything like that. This is truly a statement, and a warning. The last situationship that I was in broke me. I let someone in, completely, wholly, let my walls down, and left. Like I never thought I could again. Never thought I could. That relationship broke me. Like I said, this is not a pity me. This is not a poor me. This is not for attention. This is a warning, and this is a statement. I cannot, and I will not, ever love again. I cannot, and I will not let anyone in ever again. Because I will not go through that ever again. So I'm sorry to the nice guys beating at my door. I cannot trust you. I trusted him. And I will never make that mistake again. I will never let anyone in again. Not him, not anybody. You need to know that.
Sister, I gotta say it, for a video that you said intentions were not a, oh, don't pity me kind of video, it sure as hell comes off as that. I mean, alright, so you were dating a guy that you fell head over heels with. He made you love again. And isn't that what women always ask for the nice guy? He broke your heart. We don't know the details. Alright, that's coolsies. Let's put that to the side. But then you say to all those nice guys that are beating down your door, come again? How many nice guys are beating down your door? You're making it sound like there's like an army of nice guys trying to get with you. The reason this gorilla doubts it is because most women only recognize the nice guys when they put them in the friend zone. If you're saying that that door that you got locked that says friend zone, they're beating that door down, sure, I'll believe that. But you dating a nice guy? You know, I'm sorry. I just don't buy it. And especially women in their 40s. This is the reason why. Most of you are already jaded. Most men who are in their 40s or 50s or older who date women in their 40s, they kind of expect you to come with a lot of baggage. And just by this video alone, I can tell that you're not an exception to that rule. You have your own baggage. Case in point. So you saying, oh, it's never going to happen again. I'm never going to love again. I'm never going to let anybody else in. Well, that may be true, but what you have to understand is that most men that date you are not interested in you letting them in. They're probably thinking, okay, I want something else. The men who actually want a relationship, this is the reason why they usually go for younger women. Because younger women are usually a lot less jaded. And another thing, making a video on TikTok about this, not the answer. And it sure as hell isn't a replacement for therapy. But it makes great content for me. So keep it up.
Damn, skip me. I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund. Or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.